So our house price is too high. I'm getting asked that like crazy. So how do we figure it out? I like to keep everything simple. So I use the gross rent multiplier. What the heck is it? It's a really, really easy way to value properties. So here's how it would work. Say you have a house, it's $360,000. Figure out, okay, what would the total amount of rents that that house would generate for the year before anything. So if it rents for $3,000 a month times 12 months, $36,000. Take the price, divide it by the actual rents it receives, gives you your gross rent multiplier. Once again, so what does that mean now that we have it? What's the average here? Well, every entire area in the country completely varies dramatically. California is one of the higher gross rent multipliers because houses are more expensive compared to the rent, compared to some places like Indiana or, even cities like Cleveland or, all those, Fort Worth, all those types of areas. So what's SoCal's average over the last 40 years? 14. So 14, remember that number, 14. So what's too high? Well, we peaked at 24 in most areas of Southern California during 06 and 07. Some areas in San Francisco or even Orange County even touched 30. Okay, so let's pay attention. Now, what's a great buy? Anything under 14. Why? Because our average was 14, so if I can buy below the average in SoCal, I'm getting a good deal. So, let's see what's too high. 18. I wouldn't buy anything if it was over 18 in our market. If I knew at 22 to 24 with the peak of the market, I wouldn't buy anything over 18. Because 18, yeah, you know what? That's only roughly about 10% below 20, or 20% below 22, so forth and so on. You do the math, and I don't want to be buying within 80% of the very, very tip top that something has ever been in our market. So, let's do an example, right? Okay, here's my sample today. I pulled this from one of my escrows, and I kind of noticed it was pretty uniform. House, $390,000. House was a former rental that was renting for $2,550. I discounted it to $2,500. We've already figured out the math. $2,500, 12 months in the year, $30,000 in rents. So what do? We take our purchase price of $390,000. We divide it by our total rents of $30,000, and we get a gross rent multiplier of 13. This is just a random escrow. It's a pretty good deal. So I went through most of my escrows. Almost all of them were between 12, with the highest being 17, depending on the market. So if real estate agents, if you're wanting to figure out if it's actually really a good deal for your clients or not, do the gross rent multiplier formula. Clients, if you want to know if you're really overpaying for a house or not overpaying for a house, figure out what that house would rent for. Times it by 12, gives you your number of your gross rents. Take the purchase price, divide it by the gross rents, gives you your gross rent multiplier. If it's below 14 in SoCal, you're getting an insane deal. If it's 14 to 16, it's still a good buy, but as a long-term investment. If you're creeping up to 17 and 18, probably not the best property or the best time for you to buy that particular property. Stay tuned. I'll be dropping more knowledge bombs for you. And thank you, Barry Habib, for constantly teaching super valuable things that I can pass on to my audience.